host, Marsha Florence, with Just Ask. Today our show is Social Security Administration. Hurry back and join us. Hi, I'm your host, Marsha Florence, for Just Ask. Today our show is Social Security Administration, and our guest is Sarah Talley, Public Affairs Specialist. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Marsha.
Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Now, Sarah, this is going to be a very unique show because Social Security Administration is important to all of us. So I wanted to take out a moment and ask you to start off with telling us a little bit about yourself and then definitely go into what is Social Security Administration all about.
Well, thank you. I am primarily responsible for educating the public and dealing primarily with the media when they have a question or their viewers or listeners have a question about Social Security and they need some clarification or a contact person to assist them in helping the caller or the viewer that's contacted them. I'm also one of the people that go out in the community and do presentations and seminars and workshops helping to better educate the public about all the benefits we have to offer at Social Security.
Okay. Now, when you say you go out into the community, are you contacted and someone says, hey, we need some clarification, can you come to this facility and give these people some information?
That's one way people contact me, but primarily I'm forever on guard looking for new avenues to go into to educate the public, whether it's an article that was in a newspaper about an upcoming event where people are going to be gathered. I try to contact the person to see if it's possible for me to at least maybe leave some literature or to go in and have some time to do a presentation. So because we at Social Security are really trying to educate the public and let them know really what's happening at Social Security rather than them getting their information from other sources not working or employed at the Social Security Administration.
Okay. Well, can you break this rumor down for us right now? Is Social Security broke?
No, we are not broke and we are not going broke. We are, and we understand that we are in the forefront of a lot of the newspaper and TV and radio stations with stories about the state of our Social Security trust funds. I am here tonight or today to primarily put the public at ease with the concern about the Social Security not being there when they need it for retirement or survivor or disability benefits or whatever the need may arise. We are financially solvent. If Congress opts to do nothing for the next 30 years, there is enough money in the Social Security trust funds to pay everybody every penny that they're entitled to well into the year 2038. Okay. Even in 2038, we will still be able to pay benefits, but at that time, if Congress has not done something to adjust the system for the next few years, we will still be able to pay benefits, but we at that time would only be able to pay about 73 cents on a dollar as opposed to the full dollars that they're entitled to. So we know the American public wants every penny that they're entitled to, and we know Congress will and the President will take that issue up and get the issue resolved.
Okay. Now, has the age for 100% Social Security benefits changed?
That has changed. It is changing now, and it's starting to affect the American public. People born before 1937 and earlier are able to collect their Social Security full 100% of their benefits at age 65. The law that's been on the books since 1983, however, is now starting to affect people born 1938 and later, whereas it just basically means that people now would have to wait a few months longer or a number of months longer, depending upon what year they were born in, to collect the full 100% of their benefit. Some people may need to be 65 years and 2 months or 4 months or 6 months, but it's increasing in 2-month increments as the time passes for people born from 1938 and later. The age at which they can collect the earlier benefit is still age 62.
Okay. I think a lot of people are confused about that. How does it go that you can start at 62, but is it maximum at 65? Is that what it is?
If they decide to wait for their full retirement age, and it may be, again, 65 in a few months, they can choose to do that if they want to wait to get 100%. But for those that do want to retire as early as age 62, they would not get 100% of their benefit. They would get anywhere from 80% to 70 or 75%, again, depending upon the year that they were born. The law has been on the books that puts this into effect since 1983. So this is not a new law, but it's just now starting to get the public's attention because people are aging now, born after 1938, that are not eligible for Social Security.
Okay. Now, people over 65, can they make as much money as they want, or a cutoff? What's the deal on that?
They can. Thankfully, Congress in the year 2000, in April, as a matter of fact, Good Friday, under President Clinton and that administration, that Congress there, unanimously voted to lower the retirement age, the age for people that are retired that want to work from age 70 down to age 65, where they can now work at age 65 and older and make all the money they want and still get all of their Social Security checks without any penalty. That's been on the law. That law has been on the books since April of 2000. Good Friday, as a matter of fact.
Notice you said since April of 2000. I'm sure half of the viewing audience that will see this program are going to be so shocked that, you know, a lot of the people that are 65 and older saying, you mean to tell me I can go back out there and work and still get a check coming in fully without being affected?
That's right, without any penalty to their Social Security. Now, we do want them to understand that even though they are at least 65 or older, and working and paying into Social Security as well as getting a check, whomever they are working for, or if they're even self-employed, they are still responsible, or their employer is still responsible to deduct the Social Security taxes as well as any city, state, and local taxes that may be necessary because they are still an employee. The fact that they're getting a check from Social Security each month does not exempt them from still being subject to taxes.
Okay, so if you're out there and you're 65 years and older and you continue to work, you retire from Ford, Chrysler, or whatever, and now you want to take, say, a menial job, and you're only going to make $7,000 or $8,000 an hour, you still get taxes taken out. Do you still, in the long run, can you still, in the long run, collect Social Security benefits from that secondary job?
Yes, what we do at the end of every calendar year for people that are working and receiving a Social Security check is that we look at their gross earnings at the end of every calendar year when we get their information from the Internal Revenue Service, and we will go back and review their personal records, their work histories from the very beginning when we first started to pay them their checks to see if we can now put these new earnings in and calculate them and see if it'll make a difference and increase their checks per month. We don't just forget about them because they're working now and getting a check. We give them still credit for the work that they're doing even though they're retired now technically and getting a check.
Are benefits taxed?
It's quite possible, but it's just going to depend on the individuals or the couple, if they're filing jointly, what their adjusted gross income is. After all of the tax breaks have been applied, people earning between, that are single and filing tax returns, that are earning and their income is less than $34,000 a month, a year, they may be up to half of their benefits might be taxed. For a couple that's filing jointly and has gross between $34,000 and I believe $46,000 after all of the income tax shelters and breaks have been applied, up to 80% or 50% of their benefits may be taxable. So it just depends on what their adjusted gross income's bottom line is when their taxes are being done as to whether or not any of their benefits might be subject to tax.
Okay, now let's go on to the couple thing. If a couple, say the woman is, okay, the couple is elderly couple, and the woman has a disability and the husband just retires, is she eligible for Social Security disability? Say like she only received a disability in the last 5 years, so by the age of 55 or something like that, she became a disabled person, and her husband's retired, or he's in the process of retiring. Does Social Security disability attach itself onto the Social Security claim, or how do you do that?
In the case of that you just illustrated, with the husband being the primary person that's worked, and perhaps the wife has been a housewife, but she is now disabled,
Right.
unfortunately, we cannot pay her because she's only age 55, as you illustrated. We cannot pay her a monthly check at this time unless she has young children under the age of 18 at home in her care. Now, the fact that she has not worked on her own is also prohibitive in terms of her not being able to file for disability benefits based on her own work record. In what you just illustrated, unfortunately, she's going to have to wait until she's at least age 62 to collect benefits from her husband's record as a dependent wife.
Okay.
And she would be, at that time, eligible at age 62 for 37.5% of whatever he was getting or would have been entitled to at his full retirement age.
But when you say the children are eligible, why are the children eligible?
Children can be eligible for benefits if one of their parents is either retired, disabled, or deceased. And if they or whoever their custodian is would be getting a monthly check on their behalf up until they reach age 18. The children benefits are only paid, again, in the case of a retired person who has young children under the age of 18 and he himself is getting benefits, or a disabled person at any age that's been approved for Social Security disability. Those dependent children would be eligible for a monthly check as well. And then certainly if a child's parents or a parent has worked prior to their passing away, and we check the work record and they have worked long enough, then those dependent children under the age of 18 would be eligible for a monthly check on their behalf, paid to either the surviving parent or a grandparent or whomever has them in their physical custody is generally the payee that we'd like to send the checks to for the children.
Okay. I think a lot of people are under the misconception that they only get money if they're retired. They only get money if they're sick, according to, you know, how they go in and address their concerns. Because I don't think normally that when you go in to apply or file for Social Security, that people know exactly what they're applying for. I think that, well, and this is my opinion, that if I have a child at home, and I wanted to ask you a question about a disabled child, child benefits. If I'm aging and I'm thinking I'm going in there for myself, I don't think that my children are eligible for benefits. Tell us a little bit about, is it SSI Social Security Supplement?
What we do at Social Security when anyone is applying for a benefit, and as you just stated correctly, a lot of times people come in thinking they're going to file for one type of benefit, and actually because of the skills of our Social Security employees in their interviewing, they would be detecting possible other entitlement to benefits that this person may be eligible for. You mentioned SSI, or Supplemental Security Income Benefits. I'd like to back up to the situation with the wife you mentioned at age 55 and the husband's retired and getting a check. If the husband's benefit, and it's different from couple to couple, is low enough and the wife is totally and permanently disabled according to Social Security rules and regulations, it's possible that she could certainly file, of course, but it may be possible for her to become entitled to SSI benefits. Now, Supplemental Security or SSI benefits are benefits that are based on an individual or a couple's needs. It's not and it doesn't matter whether this individual has worked or not. It's just that they must be disabled and their income, monthly income, must be low enough to meet our guidelines and rules and regulations from month to month. So when that wife contacts us, we will talk with her and interview her and see if she might possibly be entitled to disability benefits as for SSI purposes. But again, her husband's income is going to have all the strong bearing on whether she's going to be entitled or not. For children that are adult children over the age of 18 that may be disabled permanently or totally disabled, and there is medical evidence that supports that they became disabled before they reached age 22, when this parent either retires or becomes disabled even though the child is over the age of 18, or there's a surviving child left that's over the age of 18, we will be checking to see if this child's disability occurred before he or she reached age 22, as long as this child is still single, and then we would possibly entitle them on that parent's Social Security benefits for the rest of their lives as long as they met our definition for disability. So there are children that are under 18 that we can pay, and then children over the age of 18 that we can pay if they have a physical or a mental condition or a combination of physical and mental illnesses that would allow us to entitle them to monthly benefits after their age.
Sarah, I must tell you, this is a lot, and I know people are going to be like, ask another question, ask another question. But I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with some more good stuff.
Thank you.
A little of your time can make a lifetime of difference because kids with something to do are less likely to do drugs.
Standing right in front of them.
You can help. Call toll-free 1-877-KIDS-313 to find out about community drug prevention programs.
I can keep a kid off drugs.
Okay.
Go.
Hi, and welcome back to the second half of the show. For those of you who are just not joining us, we have the Social Security Administration with us. And our guest is Sarah Talley, Public Affairs Specialist. Now, Sarah, we left off, on some good information, girl. And I can see people at home to ask her. Okay, so one of the questions I'm going to ask you is, does Social Security Administration provide a Social Security statement for its clients at the end of the year, something that tells them about their earnings or whatever? Not earnings, but their tax.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Yes, we do. What it is a Social Security statement that we have started to send the American public since October of 1999, about a month or so before the month of a person's birth date. We are sending the statement out to people that are at least age 25 and working and paying into Social Security that are not receiving a monthly Social Security benefit of some sort. We send this statement out automatically every year, and what we are doing or asking the American public to do is pay attention, look at the statement, use it as a retirement planning tool, and make sure you look at every year to make sure that your Social Security credit has been given to you for all that hard work you've been doing over the years. And we are primarily sending this statement out to help you better prepare yourselves for retirement so that you're not surprised at age 60 and later as to what your monthly benefit amount is going to be. Because, for one thing, the Social Security benefit that people do receive was never intended to be anyone's only means of income when he or she retired. It was really there to work in conjunction with other savings and investments that a person may have prepared themselves for in their retirement years. So it's just another tool and another avenue for us that we're supplying the public to use to get themselves prepared for retirement. Okay. Another provision that the statement does, in addition to the estimate for retirement, it also gives them an estimate if they should suddenly pass away, their family would be able to see what they could get, and it also gives a disability estimate if they should become severely, totally, and permanently disabled. So we're trying to help the public help themselves in terms of different life situations that could happen so that they won't be caught off guard or unprepared where Social Security is concerned. Okay. We do like to have the people, if they don't want to wait for the statement and have access to a computer, they can go online at our website, which is www.ssa.gov, and use our retirement benefits planner site and use the calculator there and do whatever they like in terms of, I'm 55 now, for example, I'm not going to do any more work between now and age 62. How much can I get? Or then they can turn right around, I'm 55, I am going to do some work, plug in those figures, and see what effect that work would have on their monthly benefit at age 62. Okay. So the planner is there for them to use, again, as a tool to help them down the road to prepare themselves for retirement as best as possible.
Now, we're going to show that planner, because I know people like, she just gave that information out real fast, but we're going to put your phone numbers and your web page up. Let me ask you this, though. Let me give an example. A person retires and they don't have any ailments or anything, so they just retire and they're receiving their retirement benefits. Say about a year or so later, they do become disabled. Is there a criteria for applying for Social Security disability if they become disabled after they have started receiving retirement benefits after the age of 65?
Well, there is a provision if they become disabled before age 65. Because at any age, if someone becomes disabled and we approve them for that disability, we would pay them even if they were only 30 years of age or 20-odd years of age. We are going to be paying this individual as if they're already age 65 based on what's in their Social Security work record at that point.
Okay.
Now, for someone that's retired for age, for example, at age 62, that becomes disabled, that's fine. They can contact us as long as they are still under age 65 and file for disability benefits, even though they're retired and receiving a reduced monthly amount, because if we approve them, again, they still would have to be under age 65. If we approve them, we would stop the lower Social Security retirement benefit for age and pay them the full age 65 amount.
Okay.
As if they're already 65, if they're
Okay.
disabled for our purposes.
Well, what happens if you're over 65?
If you're over 65, unfortunately, there is no provision for disability benefits.
Okay.
You would still get your retirement benefits based on your age.
Okay. Now, I'm aware that there's I don't know if it's a new website, but there's a website for women's benefits? Or
Yes,
something?
we just launched a women's website recently that, again, we are trying to help the women educate themselves as to what's available for them at Social Security so that they're not necessarily listening to other people. We want them to go right onto the website, which is, again, www.ssa.gov/women, and they can go online, even though men and women work the same job, work side by side in a lot of instances. When it comes to retirement down years later, the woman's benefit could be considerably less because the women generally are the ones that would opt to stop working to take care of either children or parents or what have you. So therefore, their wages at the end are going to be less than the male that they've been working with. So we are at this website enabling women to go in and check their benefits out well in advance so that they'll know what to expect. Not only will they know, but women tend to live longer than men, and their benefits, again, are considerably less over the years' time. But women, after they retire, depend on Social Security a lot more than men do.
Okay.
So we are just trying to do our part to help the women become a better educated person
great.
with respect to their benefits.
So that's a new website,
It's
though?
a brand new website. It also will link them to other government agencies in areas such as the Health and Human Services Department, the Department of Labor, the Justice Department. They have links from our website to help the women with any issues that they might want
wonderful.
information on.
That's wonderful. Now, Sarah, we talked about time frames. Is there a certain amount of years that a person's supposed to work in order to collect? Or I've heard something about a gap. If you work, say, 6 years, and all of a sudden you have a break in employment and you don't work for another 4 or 5 years and you start back up again. Is that an issue with Social Security?
It's not really an issue, but it would have an effect on their monthly benefit that they would be entitled to at retirement time. What we do at Social Security, we are looking, when they get ready to retire, we're looking for 35 years of work from an individual. That's what we base their monthly benefit amount on. For people who do not have 35 years of work, then we use the zeros to add to in that calculation. Now, anyone that's listening and concerned about how much time would I need to get some sort of Social Security benefit, the minimum amount of time anyone would need is 10 years of work to get some type of Social Security each month from us. Now, they certainly could not compare their monthly amount to someone that's worked, for example, at GM for 30 years or so, or Ford, anywhere else in the public sector, and paid into Social Security a lot longer than 10 years. So their benefit would be considerably less. But again, that's why that statement is so important for people to look at and pay attention to and make sure that they have gotten all the work credit that they've worked so hard and earned for us, so that when we calculate their benefit is as accurate as it possibly could be.
Okay, good stuff. Now, we're going to be wrapping up shortly, so I want to ask you about these books here. Now, Sarah, with the Social Security, what every woman should know, this pamphlet here?
That's an excellent pamphlet for women. It answers pretty much questions regarding marriage or marriages, in some of our instances, divorces, widows, mates, things like that. It would answer all those types of questions.
Okay, ladies, get a good shot of this book, fellas. Okay, okay. So now this book here, the Social Security, Understanding the Benefits.
Now that pamphlet is an excellent pamphlet. It's one of the best that we have. It covers all of the benefits that we have, the retirement, survivors, disability. It touches on Medicare, Supplemental Security, or SSI. It talks about taxation of your monthly benefit if that's going to be necessary, how much money you can work and make. That pamphlet covers all of the benefits and is very well written and easy to read and understand language. So any of the material that you have today for your viewers to look at or preview, they can get that information or those pamphlets by calling our 800 number, which is 1-800-772-1213, or our TTY number, which is 1-800-325-0778. And we could send them out that supply of that information if they so choose.
We're definitely going to flash those numbers. And this here is your Social Security online.
Right. This handout has listed a lot of the services that they can do online at their computer from the comfort of their home or home office or what have you. For the retirees, if they lose their Medicare card, they can go right online in the home and request another card be mailed out to them.
Right.
They can also, again, go online and use the retirement calculator. They can go online and request a statement that I mentioned earlier. So this website has a lot of services available to the public.
One more time on the website.
The website is www.ssa.gov.
Okay, I got one quick question, then we're going to wrap. I know there's a lot of people who say, I'm not computer literate, I can't get to the Social Security office. Do your offices take phone calls, take information over the phone?
Oh, absolutely. When they call the 800 number, as we encourage them to do, they can at that time tell us if they want to make an appointment for us to either take their application right over the telephone, or if they want to make an appointment to come into one of our offices at a certain time of the day. So we know not everyone is computer literate or has access even to a computer, so we are still there available for walk-in traffic at any of our 2,200 offices around the country, or here in the Detroit area, there's 22 offices around Metro Detroit in these 7 counties. So we still are trying to reach the public in as many ways as possible and to help make any visit or talk with us as pleasant as possible.
Well, Sarah Talley, it's a pleasure having you here because this information is, so noteworthy to everyone, that the people are probably just at home saying, Part two. So we're definitely going to ask you to come back. We're going to encourage people to write in or give us a call and tell us if they have questions, and if we can have you back again, we appreciate it. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, we try to give you some very informative information that we feel that you need. So if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please call us here at Just Ask. And our number is 248-988-0250. That's 248-988-0250. So feel free to call me or give me a postcard or something with the address shown at the end of our show. And let us know if you have any upcoming events or something that you want us to investigate and show you a little later. We want to thank Sarah Talley once again from the Social Security Administration because we know that you had questions and concerns about when to apply, how to apply, and what do you do. So hopefully we answered some of your questions, but like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to write us or give us a call. Well, as you know, I'm your host, Marcia Florence, for Just Ask, but as I always say, if you know someone with a disability, don't